Welcome, I am 𝐸𝐬𝐸 and your host for Keep Traveling Your African Vacation, the only podcast which brings you insightful information in the African tourism industry by real tourism professionals. Today is another great episode and I have the pleasure of introducing Belinda Morrison, who is Head of Sales at the Vineyard Hotel, Cape Town in South Africa. Belinda, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Rael. Lovely to be here.
It's so nice to have you on. You're one of my first guests that I really know your property extremely well. Stayed at Vineyard a number of times. Loved the gardens outside. The tortoises, I hope you still have. But for our international guests that are unfamiliar, can you tell us a little bit about where you are situated and what the hotel offers?
Okay, fantastic. Thanks, Rael. So we're in a leafy green suburb called Newlands, which is about 30 minutes drive from Cape Town International Airport, maybe 12 minutes into the CBD and the waterfront area, very close to 𝐸𝐿𝐴 Botanical Gardens and the Constantia Winelands. So really lovely and central to get around from our location. I know most itineraries include a peninsula tour day. When you go up along Cape Point, you see the magnificent scenery, the penguins at Simonstown on the way back. So with us, it makes your day a little bit easier, avoiding all that traffic in town. We are known for our gardens. We're on 8 acres of beautiful gardens with lots of leisure facilities, lots of food and beverage outlets, like a mini resort almost. We have our guests stay a little bit longer with us than the rest of Cape Town.
Yes, it's quite amazing how successful you guys are, and I'm trying to put my finger on what makes you so successful. Of course, your gardens are really nice, and like you say, semi kind of resort with your pool area and the bar, and of course, again, the tortoises make it all worthwhile for the kids. They chase them around. What is your take on why the Vineyard brand has become synonymous in one of the leading hotels to stay at in Cape Town?
I think part of it is being an independent brand. So we've got a different relationship with our guest, perhaps a little bit more homely. I think the best compliment we can get is people say, I felt at home. So it's very comfortable. We do things right. So we leaders in sustainable and responsible travel. We recycle 100% of our waste, so no waste is going to landfill. We fair trade tourism accredited. So very conscious in everything we do as a property. So you've got a lot of feel-good elements when you stay with us. And then you spoke to the tortoises and the 2 pools, the indoor and the outdoor pool. I think we get a lot of repeat guests. So that is a wonderful element to the property. And I think it's almost like a little secret in Cape Town. When you've been, then you come back.
Yes, of course. And if I remember correctly, you had the normal hotel rooms, but you also have some kind of townhousey rooms across the pool area. Do you want to fill us in a little bit?
Yes, so we've got 2 and 3 bedroom apartments, which are great for longer stays, particularly for families. I think in Cape Town, when you've got more than 2 kids, you often get directed to a villa option. But maybe you don't want that. Maybe you still want to be able to dine in a restaurant, order room service when you're tired, but have the option to self-cater as well. And there, our apartments are a really great facility.
And you spoke about that you're an independent. So is the Vineyard owned by a family, or what's the structure there?
Yes, we've got the Patusi family who own both the Vineyard Hotel and her sister hotels, Oudewater and Stellenbosch, and we've also recently acquired the Stellenbosch Hotel.
Okay, so does that mean that your job is getting more complicated, Belinda?
Yes and no. They're all well-loved properties, so my job's perhaps a bit easier as a sales and marketing exec. But yes, it definitely gets more interesting working with these beautiful historic buildings.
Obviously, a big part of the hospitality sector is staffing. Can you touch on a little bit of what you guys do in the form of bringing people up through the ranks, and how do you keep everybody happy?
I'm so pleased you asked that, Ralph, because one of the key things we do is we participate in hospitality learnership programs. So this allows students to grow up in the facility of the Vineyard Group and learn the trade. And then it also provides them their first job, which we all know is really tricky to get. From our customer service perspective, it allows us to offer great service because then we train them to the standards that we find suitable to the properties.
Sure. And do your staff move between the 3 different properties now?
A little bit, not as much now that it's Vineyard and Stellenbosch properties, because people in Stellenbosch prefer to live that side as well. But there is a little bit of cross-pollination.
Okay. And you touched on sustainability and recycling 100% of your own waste. Tell me a little bit more about how you're doing that.
So we procure our produce locally and then we recycle all of our waste. But now you've got all of this kitchen waste. We operate a scratch kitchen at the Vineyard Hotel, which means we make everything from scratch. Now we are a zero waste to landfill property, so we ended up with a little bit more materials that would need to be composted. Think of all those 8 juices we have on the breakfast buffet in the morning and squeezed. You've got all the pulp and skins left over. So what are we going to do with that? We created a veggie patch. We decided to grow our own microgreens and salads. Those are often the elements on your plate that they have the highest carbon footprint because they've got to be flown in fresh. So now we've got the lovely Beverly who oversees our veggie patch. And there's a lovely natural interaction that happens between guests and Beverly as they wander past and ask what she's up to. And she explains about our whole food ethos, about good, healthy food without rubbish in it, and that's locally sourced, and then what we do with our waste.
So I've seen the veggie garden, so you're growing quite a lot of your own stuff there. Are you still offering those fantastic sushi dishes? Because the last time I was there, I was eating sushi like it was coming out of my ears.
We do in summer at Splash Cafe offer what we call sustainable sushi. So it's a little bit different to normal sushi, I guess. Norwegian salmon would come with a high carbon footprint being imported. So we use locally sourced salmon trout, and rather than wasabi, we use horseradish. But yes, it tastes the same and it's lovely and fresh and enjoyed in the summer months.
Belinda, tell me a little bit about yourself, where you've come from, and how you've managed to obtain such a great position as sales and marketing exec for a nice group like the Vineyard and your sister hotels.
I fell into hospitality a little bit by accident. I came home from being overseas for a number of years, and the company that I was working with moved up to Johannesburg, but I really wanted to be in Cape Town. And opportunity became available in incentive travel, which is really once in a lifetime experience, is really awesome, but you're never home. So when it came to time to settle down a little bit, I got an opportunity within hotels. I started at the Sun International Group, which is a great learning ground, and I worked with the international business. And then I moved across to Taj, which is also a lovely international brand that people know well, and learned a bit more about the Indian hospitality ethos, which is really fascinating. And then an opportunity came up with the Vineyard Hotel. Being independent is interesting to me because we can move a little bit faster, we can make our own decisions, and I think we've got something really wonderful that we've created here.
And how long have you been with the Vineyard now?
I'm in my 6th year, but that makes me a baby because people stay at the Vineyard for over 30 years normally.
Well, you look like a baby. You got many years to go. So good luck with that. I'm sure you're going to be there for many years to come. And since you've been in the hospitality industry, I'm assuming that at some stage, a funny or scary incident must have happened to you. We don't have to mention names, but I want you to give me a particular funny incident that happened that, you look back and you laugh about it or taught you a good lesson in life. Something for the listeners to have a chuckle about.
I can talk about in one of my past roles perhaps, and we'll keep it a bit vague there if that's okay. But it's quite normal for senior staff in a hotel to spend the weekend in the properties, and they call that the manager on duty role. And I seem to be a little bit cursed because when I'm manager on duty, all hell breaks loose. So I had one instance where we were going to have some top international buyers arrive with us on the Monday morning, and we were getting everything spick and span. And then there was a water pipe that burst in one of the rooms, and we had a whole floor underwater. We're talking about more than 30 centimeters of water on that floor. And these people arriving, and we got in water vacuums, and we vacuumed this water up, and we just bought dirty sheets from other hotels. And by Monday, believe it or not, you could barely tell that anything had happened. One guest just said to me, "There's a little bit of a damp smell in my room." And I was like, "You don't understand where we've come from."
I'm sure there are many incidences similar to that. Do you travel quite a lot being the head of sales and marketing?
I can. It depends where we're needing the business. So a lot to North America at the moment. I think that's a wonderful growth market for us. And then a bit of domestic travel.
And tell me, the association that you are a member of, whether it be SATSA or ATO, whichever ones you might be, and I'm not sure which ones you are, do you feel that you get your pound of flesh worth, so to speak, by being a member of those associations?
I think we've had another look at those, or perhaps we see them differently after COVID. We need to have strength in numbers. We need to share knowledge, and I do find a lot of value in that. We are members of ATA and 𝐸𝐸𝐸 because we do quite a lot of conferencing as well at the Vineyard. And yeah, I think there's a lot of power in that.
Belinda, listen, thank you very much. It's been a fantastic time chatting to you and learning a little bit more about the Vineyard. Again, it's one of my favorite spots to stop when I'm in Cape Town, and I'm going to come knock on your door the next time I'm there.
Please do, Rael. We'll have a cup of coffee.
That'll be fantastic. Thank you so much for being a guest and bringing your energy to the show.
Thanks, Rael. Have a lovely day.
That was Belinda Morrison from the Vineyard Hotel in Cape Town, South Africa. If you enjoyed the show, please rate the show on Apple Podcasts or drop me an email. Tune in again next week when I will be chatting to another great African tourism professional. My name is 𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸, and consider this. A few years from now, you will not remember how much it cost you, but you will still remember the memories you made. Keep traveling.